It was a hot summer's day in June, L754. It's the 18th year of the reign of Emperor Qianlong, in the inner courtyard of the military commander's yamen in Fufeng in Shanxi province. A 14-year-old girl skipped towards her teacher's study, eager for a history lesson. All was peaceful. Not even a thread of cool wind stirred. The girl hesitated, afraid that her teacher had not yet woken from his afternoon nap. Quietly, she circled round to the window, pierced a hole in its paper, covering with one of her golden hair clips, and peeped inside. She saw her teacher sitting cross-legged on a chair, smiling. His right hand waved slightly in the air, and there was a faint clicking sound. Glancing over to where the sound came from, she noticed several dozen flies on a wooden partition opposite, all as still as could be. Puzzled, she looked more closely, and noticed a golden needle as slender as a hair protruding from the back of each fly. The needles were so small that she was only able to see them because they reflected the rays of the late afternoon sun slanting in through the windows. Flies were still buzzing to and fro around the room. The teacher waved his hand again. There was a small noise, and another fly was pinned to the partition. Absolutely fascinated, she ran to the door and burst in, shouting, "Teacher, show me how to do that." The girl was Li Yuanzi, the only child of the local military commander, Li Keshu. Her fresh, beautiful face was flushed with excitement. Said her teacher, a scholar in his mid-50s named Lu. "Why aren't you playing with your friends? You want to hear some more stories, do you?" Moving a chair over to the partition. She jumped up to look, then pulled the needles out of the flies, one by one, wiped them clean on a piece of paper and handed them back to him. "That was a brilliant piece of kung fu, teacher," she said. "You have to show me how to do it," Lu smiled. "If you want to learn kung fu, there's no one better at it within 100 miles of here than your own father," he said. "My father knows how to shoot an eagle with an arrow, but he can't kill a fly with a needle. If you don't believe me, I'll go and ask him." Lu thought for a moment, and then nodded. "All right, come tomorrow morning and I'll teach you. Now go off and play. You're not allowed to tell anyone about me killing the flies. If anyone finds out, I won't teach you." Yuanzi was overjoyed. She knelt before him and cowed out 8 times. Lu accepted the gesture with a smile. "You pick things up very quickly. It is fitting that I should teach you this kind of kung fu." However, he stopped, deep in thought. "To be honest, I don't agree with much of what your father does," he said. "If you accept me as your teacher, you must also accept the strict rules of the Wudong martial arts order to which I belong. Do you think you can?" "I would not dare defy your orders," she said. "If you ever use the skills I teach you to do evil, I will take your life as easily as turning my hand over." His face and voice became stern and hard, and for a moment, Yuanzi was frightened. But then she smiled. "I'll be good," she said. "Anyway, how could you bear to kill me?" To the Wudong Kung Fu sect to which Lu belonged, one of the most famous, stressed the use of internal force Kung Fu. In his prime, Lu had roamed China, fighting for justice, and had become a famous member of the Dragon Slayers Society, a secret anti-Manchu organization whose power and influence had been widespread during the reign of Yongzheng, the former emperor. But the society had been rigorously suppressed. The Manchu court dispatched men to look for him, but he was quick-witted and a good fighter and managed to avoid capture. Working on the principle that small crooks hide in the wilderness, middling crooks in the city, and big crooks in officialdom, Lu eventually made his way to Commander Li's household and set himself up as a teacher. From that day, Lu began teaching, known as limitless occult kung fu. He taught her control of her emotions and thoughts, the 10 tapestries, and the 32 long-arm blows. He trained her to use her eyes and ears and showed her the use of hand darts and other hidden projectiles. More than 2 years passed. Her father, Commander Li, was transferred to Gansu province as military commander at Anxi, one of the major towns in the northwest border regions, bordering on the Great Desert of Central Asia. His family, including Lu, went with him. Another 2 years passed as Lu taught Yuanzi the soft cloud sword technique and the secret of the golden needles. She did as her teacher had ordered, and did not tell a soul that she was learning kung fu. Every day she practiced by herself in the rear flower garden. When the young mistress was practicing her kung fu, the maids did not understand what they saw, and the men servants did not dare to watch too closely. Commander Li was a capable man, and he advanced steadily through the ranks of officialdom. He distinguished himself in the Battle of Ely, in which the largest of the tribes in the Muslim areas was defeated, received an imperial decree promoting him to the post of had been born and raised in the border areas of the Northwest, and the prospect of traveling to new and beautiful lands filled her with excitement. She pressed her teacher to come as well, and Lu, who had been away from the central areas for a long time, agreed with pleasure. Li Keshi went ahead with a small escort to take up his post and left his chief of staff and 20 soldiers in charge of his family who were to follow him. The officer's name was Deng, a vigorous and energetic man in his 40s who sported a small mustache. The entourage consisted of more than a dozen mules and a few horses. Madame Li sat in a mule-drawn carriage, but Yuanzi couldn't bear to be cooped up and insisted on riding, since it would have been improper for the daughter of a high official to be seen riding in public. She changed into boy's clothes, which made her look so extraordinarily handsome that she refused to change back into her normal attire no matter what anyone said. All Madame Li could do was sigh and let her daughter do as she pleased. It was a deep autumn day. Lu rode far behind the group, looking at the passing scenery as the colors of late afternoon merged into evening. But there was little to see around the ancient road except yellow sand, withered grasses, and the occasional crow flying homewards. A breeze sprang up from the west, and Lu began to recite, his body and name scarred by 100 battles. The general approaches a bridge across a river and turns to look back 10,000 miles at the dead men left behind. Cold are the waters of the river. The poet Xinjiang could have been writing of my own feelings, he thought. He was much like me when he wrote it, watching China fall to the barbarian tribes, with no way of knowing when the old days would return. No wonder he sang such a sad song. The entourage crossed the summit of a hill, looking at the darkening sky. The muleman said that another 3 miles would bring them to Twin Pagodas. It's a large town where they planned to spend the night. Just then, Lu heard the sound of galloping hooves and saw far in front 2 magnificent chestnut horses racing towards them through a cloud of dust. The 2 riders flashed by, one on either side of the line of mules, and were gone. Lu slapped his horse and caught up with Yuanzi. Were they bandits? She replied excitedly. She would have liked nothing better than for them to be outlaws bent on robbery, giving her a chance to display the skills she had worked so hard to attain over the past 5 years. It's hard to say, said Lu, but judging by their ability in the martial arts, they wouldn't be ordinary highwaymen. Are they kung fu masters? From the way they ride their horses, I'd say it's unlikely they are novices. As the entourage neared the town, 2 more horsemen galloped past. This is very strange, mused Lu. The country was desolate, and the evening mist was thickening. Officer Deng led them to a large inn, and Yuanzi and her mother were shown to one of the best rooms. Lu was given a smaller room, and after he had eaten dinner, a servant lit the lantern. All was quiet, and he was about to go to sleep when a dog barked. Hooves came closer and stopped right in front of the inn. On the front door, and Lu heard a servant open it and say, "You've been riding hard. There's food and drink prepared for you." "Go and feed the horses quickly," said a rough voice. "We must start out again as soon as we've finished eating." Lu considered the situation. Groups of men hurrying northwest, and judging by the way they rode, all of them experts in the martial arts. In all his years in the border areas, he had never seen the like of it. He slipped quietly out of his room, crossed the courtyard, and went round to the back of the inn. Asterisk.